So I realize there's a concert tonight, so I'm trying to be brief. First story. Some of you in the audience know this, but many of you don't. Mary and I get the question, how did we end up in Steamboat? I grew up in Los Angeles. Mary grew up in Portland, Oregon. We're kind of West Coast folks. We built our careers in Silicon Valley. We raised our 3 kids in Silicon Valley. You know, how did we end up here? So, a story. This is back in 2002. Mary and I are getting ready to go to bed one night, and Mary was reading Ski Magazine. And Ski Magazine ranked all the ski schools in the country, 1 through 20. And at the time, our twin boys were about 4 years old. And we were looking for a sort of a permanent ski home, for our family. And every time we put our twin boys in ski school around the western United States, invariably we'd get the call in the middle of the day, come pick up your boys. They'd either fight with each other, or they'd get in a fight with other kids in ski school. And we'd have to go pick them up in the middle of the day to interrupt our ski vacation. So Mary observed that Steamboat had a number 2 rated ski school in the country. And we said, let's try it. So we rented a condo at Torreon Club for a weekend. And we put the boys in ski school, and Mary went off and on skiing. The skiing was great. It was shooting powder and great weather, great restaurants. And anyway, no call in the ski school the first day. We thought, wow, that's pretty good. So the second day, we put in the ski school again. Mary and I would go out and ski. No phone call. And Mary and I, we said, we got to go meet the ski instructor. His name was Steve Ferris. Maybe some of you might know him. He's become a lifelong family friend. Ironically, he lives down in Santa Cruz. And so we kind of kept, and we came back a month ago, or a month later, and same experience. No phone calls to pick your kids up. So we said, wow. So we kept coming back. And you know, the old saying in Steamboat, you come, you visit for the winters, and you come for the summers. So you stay for the summers. And you know, we did summer vacations here with our young kids. By this time, we had Samantha, our 3rd child, and we kept coming back. And so, roll the clock forward, 2020. Samantha, our youngest, goes off to Northwestern for college, and I finally convinced Mary, let's move to Steamboat. We don't need to live in California. If any of us, if we learned anything about COVID, you know, you could run a business or do a lot of things over Zoom, right? And so we ended up moving here permanently in the fall of 2020. And so, you know, it's been almost a 25-year experience for our family. And, you know, we are very blessed to be able to support organizations of all kinds. You know, Mary's passion, which she'll talk about, is affordable housing. But you know, we've been able to support a variety of nonprofit organizations here in Steamboat and throughout the West. And our intention is to continue to do that. And my mother was 100% Italian. I grew up in Los Angeles, and she told me, this is 30 years ago, she says, you know, Mark, you can't take it with you. And I said, oh, well, what do you mean, Mom? She goes, well, when you die, they don't throw all the gold coins and all the cash in your coffin. It's not part of the deal. And so, So philanthropy is part of our family fabric at this point, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to do it for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And our kids are now in their 20s, and they are developing a philanthropic bug. So we support and encourage them. So, thank you.
Thank you. Where do I start? Okay. We are very blessed. We arrived to Colorado as described, and I must say, Vanessa nailed it in saying it is about belonging in Steamboat Springs. And as well as Ohana had mentioned, it is about the community. And I would say about belonging in the community. This Steamboat Springs is very, very unusual. It is a unique utopia. And I know a lot of people do not like change. And unfortunately, change is inevitable. Change happens, it just does. And my goal has always been to keep Steamboat. Now, what my steamboat keeps Steamboat may not be someone that came here in the 60s or 70s. And so there is a lot of different varieties of what people think of their steamboat. Our steamboat is a place of belonging in community. And I just want to preserve that. And the only way to do that is to make it available to those who work here, live here, participate, and are part of the community. And at my table, I have Todd Alsbury, and he years ago told me, I just wish, my kids can't afford to live here anymore. And it was like, that broke my heart. Or you hear someone who comes in and is working, Andrew and Elizabeth, and they work so hard and they're like, oh wow, we're out in Clark, and yeah, no, it's hard to make a living here. And then you have second homeowners, like ourselves forever, and we're not evil. As which a lot of people say, oh, second homeowners, they're never here, this and that. I'm sorry, second homeowners, a lot of times, they are bringing their friends with restaurants, they are buying clothing at Ohana, they are supporting, and then ultimately, they fall in love with Steamboat and they contribute towards the community. And our two special guests at our table are Kelly Clark and Jen Foster. And they are our property managers at Riverview and Base Camp. And they create the community, they keep the community, and all I have to say is we love Steamboat and we want to keep Steamboat, whatever and however you define it, we would like to keep it where everyone is included and they create a community. So thank you.